Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. This is your not Friday night, actually. Calm down, Adam. It is your strictly get out of jail card night. Saturday night. Where else do you want to be but football therapy? Talking United, talking Ralf, talking signings, talking possibilities, talking about this club actually moving forward. Today, I'm joined by the boys. We're just going to get down to the nitty-gritty. I was here earlier talking. I'm sure you were all well aware, and thanks for tuning into that show earlier on this morning with myself. I'm now going to get some support from the lads. I've got Jay with me. Jay, what's going on, mate? All training done for the day, pal?
Training done, hair freshly washed and blow-dried, ready to go for the show. Can't wait.
That's it. And by the way, people, if you know, you know, but Jay, Johnny Bravo. There you go. That's all I'm saying.
Ivan Drago, baby. Boom. Ivan Drago. Come on. Boom.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Johnny Bravo or Ivan Drago? Up to you. We'll go with a majority vote, and Jay will have to just suck it.
Okay.
And Alex, how you doing, mate? I've not seen you for a few days, pal. A lot's gone on since. Be interesting to get your thoughts. But how's your week been, mate? You good?
Yeah, good. It seems like forever since I've been on because I obviously missed the Watford game, and then it's been a while.
You didn't miss much, mate. You did not miss much. You did.
Yeah, I'm happy I did miss it in the end, but.
But I mean, Alex, I'm going to come to you first, mate. Jay was on the show with me the other day, and he said this is the first time in a year while he's been on this show that everyone seems to be on the same page and seems to be looking forward rather than actually worrying about what's going on with the football club. First of all, mate, like you said, you've not been on for over a week, and a lot has happened. Ralf is through the door, mate, just waiting on the announcement. Just give us your take on how you see the future lining up now and your excitement, if you are excited about Rangnick coming into the club.
Yeah, last time I was on, Ollie was still our manager, so it has been a while. I'm absolutely shocked, to be fair, that we went through with doing this, because I'd heard lots of people saying they hadn't heard of Rangnick before, which is fair enough. But I had heard of him in the sense of that I swear United were linked with him like a while ago, like maybe it was like last year or something, or fairly recently. So that's when I first heard of him, and then I read up on him back then. So then I started to learn more about him, and then I've known again now since we've been signed for him, read up some more, and it does seem really exciting. You don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, like when you have Klopp waxing lyrical about him, Tuchel saying he's the reason he became a coach. He was the one Rangnick was the one who convinced Tuchel to become a coach, and so stuff like that, and the pressing style that he was an innovator of with the Gegenpress, and that he was doing it before Klopp, and Klopp was he beat Klopp 4-1, and then that's what made Klopp start to adopt the press and stuff. So it's really exciting. I don't know how it will work how it will translate with some of the players. It depends on the team that you fix, but a lot of things excite me of what I've read about him, like how he says that he people say, oh, what formation does he use? But he's used loads of different formations, because he says that he always you build the formation around the best players. So the thing that I've always pushed on this show is playing Ronaldo and Cavani together. And I thought one of his most successful formations he used was that 4-2-2. So it made, or 4-2-2-2. So it kind of made me think, could he potentially do that at United with then Ronaldo and Cavani up front, if he could actually get it to work, which is a really exciting thought. And yeah, it's really good to feel excited for the season again. That's the main feeling I've got from this, because it's I started the season saying that Ollie should have more time, and signing Ronaldo, signing Sancho, signing Varane. The season looked so positive, and I genuinely thought we were going to challenge, and then obviously the wheels fell off. I still don't understand how you have players this good and it goes so wrong, but here we are. And it's just now, obviously the Premier League's out of sight. So in terms of that, we just have to really hope for fourth, because I don't think we'll catch Liverpool, City or Chelsea. But I'm excited now for the Champions League games and for the FA Cup games. I'm not saying we will win the Champions League, but I mean, with the players that we have, you always have an outside chance if you have proper organisation. We have good enough players. If Chelsea can win the league, Champions League, with the squad they have, I think we can as well with a proper manager. But it'll obviously be a massive ask, but it's good to at least have that hope again, because under Ollie, the last few weeks, it's I've lost all hope. We're doing that prediction thing always in the United Stand chat of like the match predictions going into games, and I've just been predicting us to lose every single game. Like in that Watford game, I think you all predicted us to win, didn't you? And I was the only one. I was like, I predicted a 3-1 loss, didn't I? And then we ended up losing 4-1, so it was even worse.
So you know who to blame now, guys. You know who to blame. It was all Alex's fault. Nothing to do with tactics and managers or anything like that. But I mean, Jamie, we know it's all happening. The inevitable is around the corner now. We've got this show on tonight to really talk about the next steps, really, Jay, in terms of the transfer window just being around the corner. You and myself didn't really expect Ralf to be spending much in January. I honestly don't think. But there could be possibly a few in the out column, mate, still. And I think he's got a month now to work on this, get the team together, see what's there. Quite a few games to get through before January comes around, and he should have an okay idea. Conte already, after 3 weeks in at Chelsea, 3 weeks in at Tottenham, has come out and said Tottenham are nowhere near the level they need to be for me to succeed. He's pretty much said that. 3 weeks for Conte. I think Ralph's going to be about the same, mate. So by the time January comes around, Jay, he's going to have a good idea about what's coming, what this club is going to need, and it may not be with him as manager, but with that role upstairs, Jay, he could have a big say still on transfers in and out of this football club.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret that Ralf is going to have a huge, huge input into the ins and outs and the development of the club over the next 2 or 3 years. That's a given. He's German, so again, I probably am generalizing, but he's going to be coming here. He's going to be very analytical. And he's not going to just come in and make a decision based on emotion, which previous managers may have done so. We're not going to name anybody, but we know who they are. So he's going to come in, he's going to analyze, okay, who are the players and who are the bluffers? Who's hiding in training? And who's hiding in games? And he's already called out Luke Shaw previously. So Luke Shaw, if you look Shaw already, you're thinking, bloody hell, I better put my socks up. I'm thinking this could be like, I don't know, guys, if you've read the book, The Hunger Games, or seen the movie, I think it's going to be a cull. This is going to be a straight-on cull. Between January and May, any player that's in a squad that's even a 50-50 is playing for his future at the club. Adam, by all means, we can go through them right now, and if you want, I'll give you a list right now. I'm going to say Maguire.
Well, that's it. Give me your player out list that you think could possibly happen in January. Let's say
January. Okay, January. Okay, then we go with January in the very, very short term.
We may stretch it out to the summer, going into certain players and details and how we think they might fit or might not fit as well. But let's just start with the January one for now. Okay,
well, the long-term perennial wage stealer of that club is obviously Mr. Pink Boots, Phil Jones, 80 grand a week, 4 million a year, 5-year contract. You would like to think that Mr. Rangnick can come in and get rid of him. Easy said and done. Who's going to purchase Mr. Jones? But Rangnick may say to the powers that be, look, just pay him off, get rid of him. I'm not going to play him. I can't sell him. So right now, he's taking up a spot on the side that I could possibly bring in. Axel Swansea can come back in the summertime, take over his spot on the side, or Rangnick may already have a young centre back earmarked in Austria or Germany to come in and take Phil Jones' spot. So that's the obvious one. I think Juan Mata. Look, we've all waxed lyric about Juan Mata in the past. I think when we signed Juan Mata, we didn't really play number 10, and Mata was played out in the right wing. I don't think we used Mata's properly. Mata, no question, he's well past his prime. Should have gone in the summer, but didn't. I think he could be gone in January also. Probably shifted to an ambassador role in the club because, he's very well thought of by the fans and he has a huge profile worldwide. So I think they may keep Juan on as an ambassador or as a coach, but I don't see Juan Mata as the future as a player of the club. Matic, I think, is there to the summer. I personally would not get rid of Matic in January. I would keep him into the summer 100,000%.
100,000?
I think
serious.
100. No, yeah, no, until May. I think Matic. You either start Matic beside Donny, And I've said in the show many times, after 60, 70 minutes, when his legs go, at that point, bring on your Fred. Or if Fred starts beside Donny, Fred's on a booking, then you bring on Matic. If the option is to play a Scott McTominay, for argument's sake, to come on as a sub, or a Matic, I know who I'd pick every week, twice on Sunday. It's Matic over McTominay. Of course I would. Okay, so I think he's there till May personally. I can't see him gone. Who else am I looking at here? I think they may cash in on Anthony Martial. Martial, yeah, I think they'll cash in on him in January, personally. The reason being, whenever a challenge has been put in front of Anthony Martial, he's buckled. Zlatan came in and Martial literally threw his toes out of the pram. Could have learned a huge amount from one of my favourite players the last 20 years is Ibrahimovic. And Martial just wasn't up for the fight, wasn't up to play for his position. Got shifted onto the left, thought he was a striker. And again, people in the comments now are going to lose their minds to say, oh, Jay hates Martial. I don't hate anybody, I don't hate any player. But Martial out on the left, is he a winger? No. Is he a striker? He'd one good season in 4 years? I think they'll cash in on Martial personally. I see Kevin Ashford in the comments there. So Kevin, I thought you were on the wine with your lovely wife tonight, but see you in the comments. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you.
On that, Alex, mate, what Jay's just mentioned there. Sorry, Jay, I just want to get your
opinion. Go ahead. It's fine, go Alex, it's fine.
I'm thinking there, in terms of the players and the way that Rangnick plays, do you see Martial fitting in there at all, Alex? I mean, I'm looking at it now. My team, I had Ronaldo and Cavani up top. Mm-hmm. And then I had a fight between Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial. And honestly, out of the three, knowing how they work, and I know people like Ricky will argue the point about Martial not being lazy. I'm not calling him lazy. I'm just looking at his game and Rangnick having 6 months and who the fall guy will be, who can turn into this type of player quicker out of them three. Where do you see Martial? Do you see Martial being a fall guy, or can you see him fitting in with this Rangnick side, mate?
To be fair, I think Mason presses even less than Martial does.
This is it, mate. This is the thing. It's like, who can be coached quicker in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Mason was like down there, like because you saw that like statistic that they were pushing out about Ronaldo, which obviously at 36 years old he has an excuse, but in like the like least pressing like forwards in the league, and Mason was right down there as well. But I feel like he's only just turned 20 years old. He can be coached like to press properly, I think so. But then again, I think like likewise Martial and Rashford could be as well. We haven't seen like really since like Mourinho. So in like 3 years, these players haven't been coached in like a system. So we don't know, and they've never really under managers we've had in a pressing system, in an effective pressing system anyway. So we don't fully know. Like obviously you can see who works harder on the pitch and stuff, but like I've seen on these. Like, you know, like the pressures per 90 and stuff. And like Pogba's like, I linked it in the chat, didn't I, to you in the WhatsApp group about that Pogba's like really high up there as well. So it's like, with the eye test, I don't personally think that Pogba is a player that would press loads, but then like the numbers seem to suggest that I'm wrong with that. So it's just a wait and see. I don't think really, I understand Mata. I completely forgot about Mata and Jones because it just seems that they haven't played for so long. Mata obviously came on the other day for like 2 minutes, but I completely forgot about Jones completely. But I feel like in terms of actual players that like, for example, Lingard, who's got 6 months left, or Pogba's got 6 months left, I wouldn't sell any of them in January because you don't know how they could then perform under a new manager. I just really hope that he comes in with and gives everyone a fresh slate. Obviously, with Ronaldo, he's just gonna have to be in the team anyway because just of like his stature and everything, and he needs to be in the team. But aside from Ronaldo, I think everyone should just have a clean slate, and then he chooses. He views the team that he thinks will fit his system, and then if everyone is uniting under Rangnick and wants him to do well, and we want to really get something out of the season, if he drops your favorite player or something, then he drops your favorite player. Like I obviously everyone knows love Greenwood, but I'm fully expecting him to get dropped, and I can accept him being dropped because I feel like in Rangnick's system, Sancho will be a better fit in it anyway. So I'm
Yes.
fully happy, and I just want everyone to get behind him. And like,
Well,
the one thing as well, sorry, just quickly, is that
yeah.
everyone keeps putting Van der Beek in their team, and that is something I would want to see as well. But I just hope that Rangnick does see him in that deeper role, rather than if he does. I don't think he will play 4-2-3-1, but if he does play that, then and not him and him or Bruno, like I'd want to get them both in the same team.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't have Greenwood, Rashford, or Martial in my expected Rangnick team. I'm just being honest and looking at the way favouritism out of the window. You've got to look at it realistically, and the patience has to be there, Jay, because it is going to take time for a team that has been coached, and some of these players have only been coached by the likes of Ole and his merry men, to get to grips with what Ralph's about to drop on them, which is a massive slap in the face with a big wet fish. It was like when Reguilon said his first week of training with Antonio Conte was hell. I'm expecting that sort of comment coming out of a lot of the United players. And we'll see how quiet or how busy the social media posts are after a first week of training with a German in charge, eh? Let's see, fellas. But go on, Jay, mate. Go jump in.
But Adam, that's exactly why I used the analogy of the Hunger Games. We've all seen those movies or read the books. We all know the context. I won't go into it, but you want a cull because there's many players there that are just not putting the work in. And putting the work in professional sports, it is the bare minimum. Yep. And guys, I'm sick to death of coming on shows and being called, oh, Jay's angry again, Jay's angry again. I'm angry because the players, for the most part, are not putting the work in. Paid professional athletes, multimillionaires, simply not trying hard enough. And I would not accept that in any walk of life. Rangnick will not accept it. And there's going to be a huge cull. And as Alex pointed out, some of our favourite players may not play. They might get limited minutes. Well, so what if you do? It's all for the betterment of the club and the team and ultimately us, the fan base, going forward. So as we said on a previous show on Thursday, Adam, we said, finally we have a manager, and for the most part, the fan base is finally united. Had Brendan Rodgers come in, I think the fan base would have been vastly split. Poch would have split the fan base, but Rangnick has actually united the fan base. And I also said on Thursday, I don't want the fans to think, okay, game one Arsenal, we're going to see this explosive pressing team. We're not going to see that. Even Levin said that we may actually start for the first couple of weeks in the 4-2-3-1, just a better version of the 4-2-3-1. We probably will see that. And it may take until January or February until we see the famed gegenpress, the famed 4-2-2-2-2 with the inverted wingers.
You got to get the fitness up there, mate.
Listen, but I do not believe the players are fit enough right now as a collective to play in that fashion. You saw against Liverpool, like okay, Cavani will almost press because that's just in his makeup. He's just and he's got that winner mentality. He wants to work and work hard. It's just in him. A player cannot be taught work ethic. Okay? But if the possibility you work or you be sold is dangling in front of him, and if you're sold, the likelihood is you'd be going to a lesser club on lesser wages, then that caveat might be enough to get him to work. Bruno will run around like a headless chicken. And I love Bruno. But he has not been coached one day since he got into this club. Now, Alex, I know you're a massive Mason Greenwood fan. You're a massive Rashford fan. And Mark himself has said on shows, what has been their development under Solskjaer? Their raw, natural ability is getting them through games. It's getting them goals and assists. But when push comes to shove, now, I've spoken very well of those players on many occasions. I haven't slated them. But very often, guys, and you've seen it, they get the ball out in the wing and they run down a blind alley, lose the ball to the fullback, which shouldn't be happening because they don't bloody well look up. So the coaching. Yeah, I know there on Thursday, you used 3 C's, but I said there's 1 C, coaching. And that is what this man is going to revolutionize. And he's bringing his own assistant. And I think if I read today, there's going to be at least 1 more coach.
There is.
So
I read that too.
but that will take time. And even Klopp alluded to it as well, is that Rangnick's time on a training ground between now and Christmas is going to be quite limited. Because as we know, Christmas period, UK, the games come thick and fast. Hence why I'm steadfast in my thought process that we're not going to see the Rangnick evolution or revolution, whatever term you want to put on it, until mid-January, early February. Then we're going to see it. So the fans have got to be patient.
That's it. We have to be patient. Sorry, Alex, mate. Everyone, do give the video a quick like as well while you're at it. We're smashing it tonight again, as always. And as a bit of fun as well while you're at it, we know that there's 2 coaches coming in. Let's have a bet. Which one of Phelan, McKenna, or Carrick is going to go? Which one, guys? Let me know. Which one of the three stooges is going? Let me know in the comment section as well. Well, Alex, just carrying what you were saying there, but also while you do, add on to that the fact that we know that Rangnick has spoke about Luke Shaw in all of this and this turnover of training regime and how it's going to affect a lot of the players. He's also said a lot about Paul Pogba in the past as well, mate. To a point, I brought it up earlier this morning that Pogba reminds him of Naby Keita, and he would not take Paul Pogba over Naby Keita. It speaks volumes. That came out of Rangnick's mouth. It was a while ago, like most of these quotes were. But he's still a United player, and he's still a Liverpool player. And I wouldn't say the best Liverpool player, but Rangnick, and it kind of shows you which sort of direction we're going to go. The way he's sort of, and the players he's mentioning. I mean, Pogba, for you, you mentioned there about the eye and the stats in the eye, mate, and the difference from what we're watching to what Statos bring up and feed us on social media and other platforms. But honestly, mate, it's like Jay just said then. Yeah, Bruno presses into blind alleys. There's yards, players cover yards, but there's yards that you can cover that are fruitful, and then there's wasted yards. Can Pogba
but again, is that
and them stats be brought together with Rangnick in charge?
Yeah, with Pogba, I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I don't see how we will, to be honest. But I could be wrong because again, we have to see it in a system. Like Bruno does, like press loads and he works really hard, but he presses wrong, like you say, and he doesn't like press with the team and stuff. But now that they have a system in place and they're going to get taught a system, hopefully it completely changes it. With Luke Shaw, it was said, I think, 2 years ago, those comments. So he's a different player now to back then, to be fair. Although now he's recently turned back into that old player from 2 years ago. But before that, he changed. But what I was going to say, the point before was that in terms of implementing the system, we might not see the full effects till the January or February. But we are, quote unquote, lucky that after Rangnick's first game against Arsenal, after that, we do have a pretty clear run, till March when we play City. Like we avoid all the teams that would be hard. Like you wouldn't really want to be going into a game against, like for example, this Chelsea game and then just trying a whole new system that we haven't played before. But against the teams like when we're playing like Norwich, Brentford, teams like them, these are the sort of games that we are actually able to try new ideas out. So we are actually lucky with the timing, and that's what I always said, that I thought that they would appoint a new manager after these games, because it just seemed like I thought Ollie would have survived up until this point, and then they sacked him because we have this clear run coming, and they wouldn't have wanted, like if they sacked him after Liverpool, they wouldn't have wanted a new manager to come in like Rangnick then playing against City, Chelsea, the Villarreal game, like all these that could just be potential banana skins, and then now that he should have this clear run. So yeah.
I mean, that's it, mate. It's like the super chat says there. Hi, Adam. So much talk about Rangnick's trophies. Mr. Merson, by the way, there are more leagues on this planet than the Premier League. You numpty. Seriously, actually think about the words before you actually speak and talk, mate. That's all I'll say, Paul. Seriously, mate.
I put a tweet below in that article or below that video. It's like that the foreign pundits and like players and fans must look at our English pundits and just like absolutely shake their heads. It's just especially Mercer. He's like the worst of all of them for this. Of like, if you're not just completely mispronouncing everyone's name. And it's like if you're not English or from the Premier League, you're absolutely useless in his eyes.
Yeah,
Alex,
let's not forget this is
I'm your close neighbour.
Well.
I'm laughing at English pundits. I'm your closest neighbour. Okay,
It's ridiculous.
That's it. I mean, on that, I mean, people are looking at it now, and obviously, I pay attention to like what you said, Jay. Tuchel, Nagelsmann, Klopp, all these managers that are talking and saying this is going to be a worry, and it can only be bad for the rest of the Premier League. Like Klopp said, these are the people I would listen to more. I'm not worried about rival fans. I'm not worried about English pundits. I'm not worried about anyone like that. I'm looking and I'm more concerned about what the competition are saying. And that is key. That, for me, speaks volumes because let's not forget this German blueprint is the one that's leading the way right now. I mean, it is streets ahead, and we are getting the headmaster of all of that in our football club. And what is most important out of all of this, Jay, it's not that 6 months. And I said this on this morning show. I said, look, it's the work he's doing now for the next man, and then still being there for the next man is a real structure, and why this is more exciting than just what trophy cabinet this guy's got. Because right now, 6 months, it doesn't really worry me. What I'm concerned about and what I'm happy about is the structure of the deal. And I think Rangnick's made this deal happen because he turned the first one down, mate. So he's not putting his reputation on the line here. He's going, look, I need this in place. Otherwise, this is not happening. And finally, the club have seen sense, mate.
Yeah, how to put it? Okay, the English pundits last season were espousing the virtues as to why Henderson should replace David De Gea. Sky did a whole hatchet job on De Gea. They had to go back 3 or 4 seasons to find mistakes. The BBC did it on a Match of the Day. That's English pundits for you. These are the same English pundits that in August were saying, no, Ronaldo, he won't work in the Premiership. He's over the hill. He's arguably one of the greatest players ever to wear a pair of boots. And these ex-players that played 20 years ago were saying he'll work in the Premiership. That is English pundits for you.
Listen, Alex, I put it again.
Sorry, I was just going to say it was absolutely mental that they were ever questioning Ronaldo doing it in the Premier League again, because with Zlatan, they said the same about Zlatan, and then Zlatan came in and bossed it. And Ronaldo's a little bit older, but still.
The example I use, you remember when you were in school and you were doing Shakespeare's plays or Shakespeare's sonnets, and you had the mid-level of the class, and they'll read the play, they'll read the poem, and they will not get the theme, the mood, onomatopoeia, development of thought. They don't get the subtext and the themes because they don't bloody have the IQ to analyze properly and delve deeper. I firmly believe these pundits do not have the bloody IQ to scratch beneath the surface, stop reading the tabloids, the red tops, and delve deeper. It's either having the IQ or they're too goddamn lazy. We're here on a fan channel. Now, obviously, I'm biased because this is our channel. These are our fans. But our analysis is levels above anything you're going to hear on Sky or BT. Because we do our homework. We read countless articles. Like, how many articles, Adam, do you read, for argument's sake, before you write your piece in United Stand? Just as one example.
Me, God, I have a headache when I'm finished doing my day's work with United Stand, because you're thinking and you're that involved and you're that deep within your club. It's like you want to know the ins and outs of absolutely everything. And that is, like you say, Jay, it pretty much takes over your life. And that you cannot even compare and compete with pundits. And I know they've got to do different clubs and they can't be as invested in every single club in the Premier League. But like I said, it's a simple thing of actually just doing a little bit more homework before you make a stupid comment.
Yeah, it's like their mouth opens, they go off on a tangent, but the brain hasn't resonated with the first couple of words. I'm working on an article for tomorrow morning that's going to go on the Stand. I've read 6 other articles before that. I've read Marca, I've read Gazzetta dello Sport. I even read ESPN to get their example, because I only have my opinion, my slant. I'm not always right. And I'm always looking to find, is there other opinions out there that may change my opinion? Because I'm not always right. I'm not to hold my hands up. Please, I know we've gone off on a whole different side, but these pundits that are basing their analysis on Rangnick, he hasn't won trophies. He's managed 3 seasons in the last 10, right? Let's go to facts here, okay? He took Hoffenheim. That was a large village or small town of about 5,000 people from the German third division all the way up to the Bundesliga into the Champions League. He took Schalke to Champions League semi-final against the last decent United team we had in 2011. He revolutionized both Red Bull clubs. The guy is he's a football authority. And his knowledge of the game is levels above mine. Alex, you'll agree, and it's levels above yours, Adam. It's levels above. We'd love to sit down. We'd love to sit down with that man for an hour, have a coffee, and just rack his brains on football philosophy and tactics. We won't have the opportunity. But we would kind of test to that man's knowledge of the sport and how he views the sport is levels above how we view it. And I believe how we view football is levels above what the BT boys view it, and a lot of the Sky lads. I honestly believe that.
No, mate, it is 100%. Alex, you want to touch on top of that, mate?
I was just going to add to it as well. His eye for talent. I was looking at like the list of the players that he's like been involved in, bringing like Haaland to Salzburg. I think he was involved with Upamecano. Yeah, Kimmich, that was the big one as well. Yeah, Kimmich. Yeah. So
Kimmich. What was it?
And that was with their budget. So imagine what he could do with our budget. Yeah, Firmino.
That's it. And that actually that takes me on to the next bit actually nicely, Alex, because the day, and I made a big point about this morning about United's DNA. This is the closest move you're going to get, and everyone's obviously like straight away, oh, it's a different style of football and that. But the bigger picture for me is to talk about the DNA and what Manchester United were. Manchester United, and I said this morning, we don't buy marquee, we make marquee. That was the DNA of Manchester United. All the biggest legends became legends at United. They weren't made elsewhere. And we've made this mistake since Ferguson left. But Rangnick coming in, and you just touched on it there, the eye for the talent. I think the day of the big marquee signing has gone with Rangnick coming in, mate. That just doesn't work that way. He finds, and it's like Mark was saying before, Amadou Haidara from RB in Germany there, the Mali midfielder. He straight away, it's like a talent that he knows is coming through that can fit a system that will make him a better player. And it does look like, and this is where I went deep on it this morning with the DNA, it is a step in that direction for me, because we have got an abundance of youth talent coming through our system at the moment that don't get a sniff, Alex. And that, I think, will be an eye-opener. And again, I keep emphasizing the fact that forget this 6 months. He's going to do brilliant in this 6 months, but it's that 2 years afterwards, which is exciting me even more with Rangnick, because I went big on Ten Hag this morning. That partnership, I'm drooling at the mouth, literally. I'm thinking that is challenging for the title next season. And Alex, that's where I was going with it. And I think that is more important than anything else with Rangnick coming in.
Yeah, let's hope I read that he does have a say in who we bring in as manager. So I'm hoping it's going to be Ten Hag and not Poch personally. But one thing as well that I'm not sure if he does for his clubs, but I think he must do. But all like the elite clubs, it seems, or it's how they should do, is with like your youth teams. The youth teams should play exactly how the senior clubs play. So if he comes in now and plays 4-2-2, then we should instantly swap our youth teams to that formation and the exact same tactics, because it doesn't matter, okay, if we lose games or whatever, then we lose games, but you build them up in the system so that when they come into the senior team, then it's as seamless as possible. But it seems that they just play different ways to how, like when under Ollie anyway, that the senior team was playing. But yeah, in terms of, I don't know what he's like. We obviously see he has this eye for talent in terms of like buying talent. I don't know what his track record is with youth development. Do either of you? As in academy players?
I don't know the ins and outs of what he brings through, but obviously if he's bringing players through for the peanuts, he knows the talent within other clubs' youth academies and quality coming through. So straight away, if it's on a plate for you at your own club, I would have thought inevitably that he could see that as well and bring that through.
Exactly, because as well, if we were to just get a random interim, like say, like let's just say, as for argument's sake, Steve Bruce, heaven forbid, and then it's like that they're going to be gone in 6 months
Stop
anyway.
laughing,
So
everyone.
there's no point in like bringing players in January. But seeing as Rangnick's literally going to be involved in our recruitment process, then I don't see why we couldn't bring a midfielder in January. I mean, I doubt we will, because I bet they won't. But if he's going to be involved in that process, then, and he has an idea, he's probably speaking with like if they know. So let's say it's Ten Hag or let's say it's Poch. They know that they're coming in the summer anyway, so he could discuss like targets with them already. So because it's like if we, especially the one thing that makes me think that possibly we could do it is because the Glazers, we know that they care about top four. If we're like say 9 points out, they're gonna have to push the emergency button. I guess they'll see if Rangnick can get like a tune out of.
Well, it's like you said there, mate. If it goes wrong this weekend, we could be 9 points off top four before Rangnick actually comes in. If results don't go our way tomorrow, then we could be 9 points off top four, which is starting to get a little bit dicey for my.
It is, but I still have you just look at our players and compared to like Arsenal, like who would we say the main challenges at the moment? West Ham, but you have to assume that West Ham are going to fall off. So realistically, it would be Conte Spurs, which he said himself that they're not good in their squad, is nothing special. Arsenal are in good form, but you just look at our players and it's like they are levels above all the teams that we're competing with, apart from the obvious three above. So we should still we should go on a run. I read that Rangnick, I think it was in his last season, he has gone on long 10 and 15 game unbeaten runs. So if we can go on a run like we did when Ollie first came in and we did 16 games without losing and stuff, it's going to take that sort of form just to get back in. And if we can get by let's say February or something, within 3 points of top four, I think we'll do it easy. Because when you have the likes of Ronaldo, Cavani, Sancho, Rashford, Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba, all these players, there's no excuse not to be getting top four. And I'm expecting us to challenge for the FA Cup. And like I said, the Champions League as well. Obviously, the Champions League's a big ask, but I see no reason why we can't win the FA Cup this season. Exactly.
That. It all comes down to that run, who you get in the draw, Jay. But before we move on to some other football, mate, namely Chelsea, in terms of players coming in, you think might come in, kind of quashed it really, because we ain't got a clue what Rangnick's thinking, mate, and the inevitable and the most obvious isn't on the table for United anymore. So it's hard to really predict or say a certain player, because Rangnick could pull something out of our own team and make it work. Like Alex touched on and I said before, every player deserves a chance under some proper coaching, because let's not forget, and I've made a point of Fred, and I know what Fred is, but the way he came in, he hardly played with Jose at first. And then the likes of him, Rashford, Greenwood, all they bleeding know is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his tactics and his coaching methods, mate. So let's see if, and I made the comparison before, it's a long shot, and don't go in on me right now, but let's see if Rangnick can turn a Fred into a Makalele type player.
He'll love Fred. I mean? He'll love Fred, I think. If you're a pressing manager, Fred's like our best pressing player.
Yeah. Jay, we spoke after the Villarreal game. If you can tell Fred to go and destroy and then pass it to Donny, pass it to Bruno, 5 yards, just do that for 90 minutes, you will be a cult legend at Manchester United. He's not had the culture. I think Ollie tried to turn Fred into something he's not. I think he's trying to turn him into a Paul Ince, applauding him when he had a shot on target. No, don't shoot.
Stop shooting.
You can't shoot. Don't shoot, Fred, yeah? Just pass it. You don't need to. And you know what, Kante never was one of them players at first, but he grew into it under better coaching and now has become a better player going forwards. And we all know his main attributes, which is defensive, but he's adapted his game. So there's a chance there, Jay, that a lot of players could get a second wind and find something that we thought they had, we've just not seen it yet.
I'll touch on the Fred question first, because it is actually one of the most interesting points. We saw there on Tuesday night. It was Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't recall, lads. Correct me. Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever night it was.
Tuesday.
We do so many shows now. One day becomes another.
Tell me about it.
But if you can tell Fred, just the Fred, the phrase I used on Thursday show was, Fred, stay in your lane, mate. Stay in your lane.
Remember.
Yeah. Fred, if Fred can go, and I'm repeating myself, but I wanted to see Thursday night show. Fred's a 5 out of 10 player. That's what he produces. If Fred can go from a 5 out of 10 to 7 out of 10, week in, week out, Fred becomes one of the first names on the team sheet. I can't believe I'm saying that. If Fred's remit is win the ball and give it to the more creative players, and do not, Fred, under any circumstances, be in and around the box and shoot. Be sitting back in the halfway line in case we're caught on a counter attack. That's your lane. The one thing though that I'll say about Fred is his upper body is very, very slight. Okay. I know some people in the comments would say, "Oh, but Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, they weren't physical monsters." In the Premiership now, to be in that engine room in the middle of the park, Fred needs to put on, I would say, 2 or 3 kilos of muscle mass, upper body, so that he's able to get in and win those balls and fight for the second balls. Fred is good at winning the first ball, but he's very, very poor, as I've seen, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, at winning the second ball. He's poor because he lacks that physical presence. And that's what he lacks for me. But did we have a competent string conditioning department over the last couple of years? That would have been addressed, and it wasn't. And it seems so simple. But Solskjaer, Kerry didn't see it, Carey didn't see it, McKenna didn't see it, but Rangnick and his boys, you can guarantee that they'll see it.
Exactly that. And moving on, guys, I think we've said enough about Rangnick. We do still have another man in charge right now, Mr. Michael Carrick. Here's a stat for you guys. Carrick is the first Englishman to take charge of a United game in the league since Big Ron. That's a crazy stat for you. A classic one. Absolutely amazing.
Over 25 years of that is a bit of a big block to block.
Yeah, I know. 1986. 1986.
I was 86. Would that be January 86? January 86?
I can't remember when Big Ron. Yeah, it was. If you watch the United Way video, it pretty much tells you everything on that program. That's when that changeover came. That's the perfect United video to watch to figure out when it all started to go right for United.
Big Ron, to his credit, he had a sunbed in his office, and he won 2 FA Cups. To his credit.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't watched that program, guys, listen to Gordon Strachan talking about Big Ron. It is gold. It is absolute gold. Brilliant. But moving on. I mean, Chelsea tomorrow. I mean, Jay, are you expecting much out of this? Any sort of reaction at all? I mean, you would have thought, really, it was, and it has been one of them Premier League grounds that have been a bad hunting ground for Manchester United. But I can't believe it when I've read it before. United haven't lost to Chelsea in the last 7 games in the Premier League. I'm like, what? What? How is that? Even though they've got a Solskjaer's managed a few of them, but right now they're a purring machine, and the way they dissected Juve the other night is a bit of a concern. No Chilwell, Conte himself is a doubt. Lukaku will be back on the bench. It's going to be a concern. I mean, Jay, where are you at with this Chelsea game? A lot of people are looking past it. We can't afford to be falling too far behind, Jay, can we?
I tell you what, Adam, I would take a 1-1 draw right now. You give me 1-1. You give me a point away, I'll take it. And if you're looking at the way Michael Carrick set up against Villarreal in the first half, he's set up to go in at half time, to go in 0-0. Now, I know I use the term turgid football. And had it not been for the heroics of David De Gea, we'd be having a different conversation after that game. Mm-hmm. With Chilwell been out, Reece James, as we've seen, he's in the form of his life. The form of his life, Reece James. Their midfield is heaven and earth better than our midfield. Should we start the 2 elite centre-backs, and I've been very, very condescending in that phrase, and we will start them because Carrick will start the 2 lads, and I might mention their names anymore because I'm sick of looking at them. I fear for us.
Maguire suspended, remember?
Yeah.
Is this? Yeah, thank you.
So it's
I totally forgot. That just ruined everything I was going to say next to Maguire. Okay.
Yes.
So now,
well, look at the smile on Jay's
bias.
face.
With that
look at the
caveat.
smile on his face.
See, all it took to get me to smile on this show after a year was Maguire is suspended, and I'm smiling literally ear to ear. There you go. It took a year. So, Mr. Eric, play him onto Breaks Bailly beside Linda Soft. If Bailly can get through the game and not get injured or get a yellow card, all of a sudden that defense for me is 10 times stronger.
On that, actually, Jay, what do you think?
I'd love a 1-1.
Sorry about that, mate. You just touched on it there quickly before we move on, Jay. I want to just ask you. I said this the other day. We were talking about the coaching and Rangnick and what he can coach. You cannot make a man's balls grow any bigger, but you can coach a technique. I would say I seen Eric Bailly put himself on the line more in one game than Harry Maguire and Lindelof did in the whole season, mate. Now, this guy has got the perfect temperament for me. He's going to throw himself at everything, but he's a bit rash. Now, you can't teach Lindelof to be stronger and go in for more dangerous balls. He's just not got it in his nature. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get across. It's how he is. Eric Bailly, I think, is there to be moulded. And I think, like you said then, Jay, he was on my list of interesting ones of what Rangnick would do because he's quick. He can recover quicker than Maguire and Lindelof. And if you put a bit of coaching into this guy, I mean, surely that is an option there, Jay, isn't it?
So, if Rangnick can get Eric Bailly to play with a bit less balls and a bit more brains, we might have an Ash centre-back on our hands, in essence.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. I'm thinking you've got the right man in now to get more out of these players.
So, just picture, I know now we're slipped forward a small bit, but just picture a Varane beside an Eric Bailly.
That's
World Cup winner,
but I don't think we ever
who has won everything in the game,
Alex.
whom can talk to Eric Bailly and talk him through the game. No, Eric, you go there, move up now, go sideways now, pivot now. I would love to see that combination. I do believe the Magaluf partnership will be broken up. We've shipped. Are we the third worst defense in the Premiership right now in current stats? Somebody in the comments will know. Yeah, some in the comments will know, guys. Some in the comments, find out, let me know.
Yeah, I think we're about that. 22.
Yeah, we're at that. So the biggest test then for Lindelof beside Bailly cannot be any bigger than use the phrase, was it a juggernaut? You used the phrase Chelsea. And they are a juggernaut. And the other juggernaut in the Premiership is Man City. But I would be more fearful of a Chelsea than a Man City, personally.
This is the team that's conceded 4, Jay, this season.
Yeah, exactly. And how much space is Ronaldo going to have against that back three? And then it leads to the question then, whom does Carrick play on the wings? I would hope and pray that he goes with what he did on Tuesday night and plays Jadon Sancho. And Marcus, to his credit, was decent in the second half when he came off from Martial. Martial was okay. He was 6 out of 10. But Rashford, when he came on, I thought he had his best game in a couple of weeks. So I would love Sancho and Rashford out on those wings. And I think that for us, guys, will be pivotal. But if we go with McFred, we'll lose the midfield battle. I think Carrick has learned a little bit now from the previous management mistakes. I think he will go with Donny, personally, beside Fred and Rashford and Sancho. And I think we'll get a point. I know I'm hanging my neck on the line here. I'm confident of a point. I really am.
Yeah. Well, I hate to put a dampener on it even more, guys. I'm sorry with these stats, but we talked about it there. Chelsea only conceding 4 this season. The main man who's pulled us out of the shit completely, nearly every single week this seaon. Ronaldo has got 1 in his last 15 against Chelsea. And that was in the 2008 final. And these guys have conceded 4. Oh, I'm sorry, but they're just the stats, guys. He's just a well-oiled machine, Alex, mate. And it is hard to see how we break them down, isn't it? Oh, well, we broke Alex down just in mid-floor.
Okay. He'll come back.
That is, we'll get Alex back on and get his thoughts on Chelsea's formidable sort of defensive lineup when he comes back. But actually, he's here now. Let's just get him on there.
Sorry.
Alex, before you went there, mate, it's hard to see how we do break Chelsea down, isn't it?
Yeah, it just seems to be a hallmark of Chelsea teams. Like, obviously, in the days of like John Terry, Cech and stuff, they were similar to like this, like never conceding. And it's like we have players that we can score against them, but the thing that's confusing for me is like I look at their attack. And like their top goal scorer this season is Reece James with 5 goals, and it's like I look at their attack, and like obviously Lukaku is a clinical goal scorer. He's obviously been injured, but like they have a load of good attackers, but I don't think any of them are like absolutely amazing. Whereas if you look at ours, like Ronaldo, Cavani, Sancho, like players like that, they are like the very upper echelon. But it just shows how important a system is, and like Tuchel's system just seems to be like levels above everyone, because even like, I think their squad, like compared to like Liverpool and City's, is worse than theirs as well. But it's just they just never concede. Like Mendy obviously also has I think the highest save percentage in the league, so he's actually a massive part of why they keep clean sheets as well. But the 4 goals, it is obviously really daunting. But I know it will be controversial, but I'm personally hoping we just go with the same team that we did in against Villarreal, because I think at the moment Rashford is better coming off the bench, and Bruno in like games that he comes off the bench as well, he seems to be amazing. Like I remember a West Ham game, like I can't remember what it was, but it was we were losing or drawing, and
1-0 at half time, and then we won 3-1.
And brought Rashford and Bruno off in the second half, and they just absolutely destroyed it. So I kind of want to keep it tight. Maybe sit back again like we did against Villarreal. If we get in at half time 0-0, and then we can bring Rashford and Bruno on again, and then go for them like a little bit later in the game, because like the most important thing is just the result this time. It's like the systems, pressing and stuff, performance. That's all irrelevant. We just need to get the result because we're falling so far behind. So I'd like to bring them on as impact players, because I feel like if with Cavani injured, with Mason out and stuff, I feel like we haven't really got the options on the bench that if we were to put all of our like players like Rashford and Bruno in the starting 11, and then we go a goal behind or something, you have nothing to change the game really.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if you want to put a bet on, get 0-0 on, because believe it or not, United haven't conceded a goal to Chelsea in the league in 2 seasons. That's another crazy stat. The last 4 Premier League games, we've not conceded against this lot. I'm looking at this going.
And I don't want to jinx it, so blame me if he does score. But we all know Lukaku's goal record against any half. Well, we're not in a half-decent team at the moment, but
yeah,
but like against the big 6, it's like it's like being across the board. Like West Brom, you can kind of excuse it, but Everton, it was poor. At United, it was poor. Inter against the top teams as well. I think his goal record wasn't particularly good.
No.
So,
and he's got one in his last 11.
Do you remember when we played against Everton? He scored against him, and I can't remember, what was it, like the shore he did like that or something. And to be fair, I don't think our fans will boo him. They'll probably give him a round of applause and stuff, so he won't do it. But if he scores against us, I just can't take just seeing him like celebrate or like doing anything cocky towards our fans. He'll kill me.
Hey, on the Jay, actually, on the Lukaku's got 1 in his last 11, by the way, guys. So he had inevitably.
Okay.
He went on those droughts at United, though, if you remember, didn't he? Going on long goal scoring droughts. He
did, and then he all of a sudden he had them moments like against PSG when he just went absolutely ballistic for a couple of weeks. That's what he did. He had the spells. Did it at Everton as well.
Purple patches all the time.
All the time. But Jay, I mean, Alex touched on keeping it solid there, and we do. I think we all agree that it was a tactic that we could actually see against Villarreal. But do you think Carrick has got the balls to drop Bruno 2 games in a row?
Your phrase, Adam, big calls, big balls. Good question. Personally, I don't think he's gonna drop Bruno tomorrow.
I don't think.
I think it's gonna be Donny and Fred and Bruno in the 10. And
That was my
I'll stand
Rangnick
by that.
midfield.
Do we know
actually.
if Fred's back? Because obviously Carrick said in his press conference
Twisted his
that
ankle,
he picked up a knock, didn't he? So is he back or?
Well, it's one of them, isn't it? It's you twist your ankle, you don't take your boot off, otherwise you don't get it back on. So Fred played through it. What he's been doing, has he been training? I've not seen many pictures of him in training, to be fair. So dare I say, I think he's probably the best out of Fred and McTominay at the moment, and hopefully
He's the best of a very bad bunch. Let's be fair. Regarding Alex and Adam keeping it tight at the back, well, Chelsea have cleared the Masters. They've conceded 4 goals. We've conceded 28 goals. If I'm not mistaken. Someone in the comments would correct me if I'm wrong.
It was 22 or 21, I think.
22?
Something.
Okay, again.
Terrible either way, but
it's been a long day. So on that rationale, then we've conceded 6 times or 7 times more goals than Chelsea. Let that stat sit with you. And Alex has already tempted fate by mentioning Lukaku. So it's probably written in the stars tomorrow that Lukaku will put Lindelof on his arse and bang one in.
Oh God!
But I do hope though that Eric Bailly, as we know, he's always up for the physical battle. Both Lindelof and Maguire, especially Maguire always shirks the battle against the big physical striker unless Lindelof take him on. He did. He's what is he? He's 6'4", 6'5", and he never goes after the physical striker. He's a big lad, right? But Eric Bailly, if he sees Lukaku starts tomorrow, Eric Bailly will relish going in on Bailly because, as you said there, Adam, he's naturally up for the fight because he's got a pair of big bass brawls and he will go after Lukaku and he'll try and contain him. So the very fact he's starting tomorrow, that's a major positive. Look, tomorrow we're live with tomorrow at 6:30, and then all should be revealed. I'll either be calling out Lindelof for lacking balls or espousing the virtues of Eric Bailly's balls. Either way, tomorrow's out of balls.
Either way, guys, there's going to be plenty of balls in tomorrow's fan forum. Only on a Saturday night show, guys. Only on a Saturday night. Exactly. But I will be listening to the fan forum when I'm coming home from Chelsea tomorrow. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I really am. Because the drive homes are horrible when we've been beaten. Last week was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I don't think it can get as bad as Watford away. It really can't. That was the pits. No more. But
if we obviously it'll be awful if we lose, but we still have then the Arsenal game to look forward to, and I feel like the atmosphere for that game, it's at Old Trafford, right?
It is indeed.
I feel
on
like
an Amazon 8:15 kickoff.
It's going to be rocking.
This is it. And before we finish the show, that's what I wanted to just finish on there. We touched on it earlier on, guys, but this fan base has been split for a very long time now. This is the first time I feel an appointment or a decision made by the club, apart from dropping out of the Super League, bringing a fan base completely together, because I've not heard one person call this out as a bad move. Everyone, and I know it's easy to say, look, under Ollie, it couldn't have got any worse, and whatever happened next was always going to be better. But this has just gone beyond that for me. And I do feel like you said then, Alex, mate, I feel like the fans are united. And I do feel like that will help the players even more, because if the fans get behind this, there's going to be nowhere for these players to hide, mate. And that, I think, is what will bring out more performances.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, the atmosphere, I think, is going to be brilliant. I feel like Ollie obviously split people down the middle, and Jose's definitely split people down the middle. I feel like Rangnick, everyone's united together, and I feel like that's the first time. Like, I can't remember back in the day with LVG. I think we were all united then. So I think it's since like the LVG days that everyone's like, oh, this will be a good decision, and it just makes me so happy. Like that. It's like the first decision we've made as like a modern football club in like since Fergie or potentially like ever. It's just like the consultancy, and I think we originally offered him a contract and he rejected it because I assume it hasn't been confirmed, but I assume that he asked for the for the job, and I assume in the first contract they didn't give him the job, which obviously is worrying. But
the details of the 2-year and what responsibilities and what he was involved in was written into the contract, and what power he had was really the stumbling block.
But an exciting thing as well is that I assume that this appointment was made by Murto as well, rather than I doubt Woodward or anything had anything to do with it, because they said about how Murto met him in like 2019 or something when he was at Leipzig. So it's like if Murto now is actually a part of the thing and he is actually thinking like an actual football man rather than like the business side of things, then it's like people say about like the Glazers, and obviously the Glazers are terrible and stuff, but with the amount of money that they give, if we actually had the proper structure in place, we can win all the big trophies. It's just that they never put the proper structures in place. So now, hopefully, this is a step in the direction of, like with Murto and then Rangnick and stuff, of actually getting a proper football structure, because we are so far and many years behind the modern clubs like your Chelseas, like your Cities and stuff like that. So if we're actually starting to move in this direction and putting in the correct structures to build on for the future, then it's so exciting. And let's just hope it works as much as we're all hoping it is going to.
That's it. I mean, Jay, to finish this up, mate, Ricky reckon that Carrick should take the role. Just to finish it off. But, I mean, that is another story. We'll hopefully get Ricky's view. You know what? I thought this was ideal for Ricky, but you know what?
Okay.
Carrick did play a lot of his favourite players, so straight away, automatically, Ricky's going to love that. But
okay, Adam.
It is what it is, mate. But I do believe right now we're in a good place moving forward, and we are looking at Ralf Reds past this weekend, mate. But give me an actual score prediction, mate. I don't know what you said earlier in the group, Jay, but what's your score for tomorrow, pal?
I'm going to go with 1-1 and confident 1-1, only because Harry Maguire is suspended. Thank God.
He changed his mind mid-show because he realised that Harry wasn't playing.
Yeah, literally, I did.
Alex, what's your prediction for tomorrow, mate?
Well, I put my original one in the WhatsApp group, but I'll do a more optimistic one after this show. So we'll scrape a 1-0.
I've already said we're going to lose 1-0, but
yeah, I do realistically think we'll lose. But yeah, my heart going over my head.
when you look at it with your head, you sort of say, look, Chelsea are firing, and as good as the vibe feels right now, as long as we see a sort of reaction and a performance from the players, I think a lot would accept. I know we're not supposed to as United, but right now I think patience is key for United, and as long as long term this works and we see the plan starting to generate itself through the months, then I think everyone will be happy. I'm looking forward to the summer when this actual regime actually takes full swing. Really, it goes into overdrive, because that's when I think we are going to really see progression, because money will be spent, players will be out, and a pre-season with a new manager and coaching setup is what this team really needs. Not fits and starts through the season right now, but hopefully they can. Hopefully they can. And tomorrow, I would absolutely be buzzing. I can see United winning tomorrow. I can. I just feel like Chelsea will probably edge it. That's just my gut feeling. Law of averages with them not beating us for so long. That's all. But I can see United winning tomorrow. I can. And hopefully I am outside Stamford Bridge talking about a United win and rolling in the Ralf Reds era the following few days, building up to Arsenal. Absolutely buzzing. But guys, cheers for coming on. That is it for tonight's show, everybody. Cheers for all the super chats and your comments, all on point as usual. Jay, cheers for coming on, mate.
Thanks, Adam. Pleasure as always. Everybody watching, have a great Saturday night, and come on, United.
Yes, Alex, cheers for coming on, mate. Are you back on the fan forum tomorrow with Jay?
Yeah. I'll be back on for the Chelsea game, so let's hope for a positive performance. But like I said, the main one to look forward to is the Arsenal game. Let's just hope it's a good result.
Let's deal with Chelsea first, boys. I think Kev will be back on, recovering from his red wine weekend out with the missus. And I think Beth will be back on as well. But guys, for now, that is it. Do subscribe to United, bottom right-hand corner to United Stand. And obviously, give the video a like on the way out as well, guys. But for now, we are out of here. Have a good rest of the weekend. Enjoy the football tomorrow. Come on, United. Let's start calling that gap back. See you later.